Palantir is the company that really made a name for themselves in the kind of work that all these LLM companies are being tasked to do for the Department of War.
Yep.
And look, it's going beyond analytics now. So what Palantir did was you could look at, unstructured data like the GPS coordinates, tie intelligence in terms of, finding about some source or some entity. And that was heavily used in a variety of use cases. Now I think these LLMs are trained on, 15 trillion tokens. And they can ingest large amounts of data and do analytics at a level that, we have not seen. So in this case, the company Anthropic has talked about their AI constitution, or in other words, putting guardrails around the kind of surveillance activities they want the LLMs to do. Mm-hmm. And obviously, from a government perspective, they want to do whatever it takes from a national security perspective. So I think that's where there is a discussion going around the kind of guardrails that they want to see and the level of, work that the government wants them to do.
Okay, so the Department of Defense, or Department of War, as it's now known, this relationship with Anthropic, it's not limited to just using Anthropic's models, is it? Because it wants to make sure that it's got kind of a wide source of AI, large language models to draw from. So what is that relationship like with, ChatGPT or Gemini or even Grok?
Yeah, all of these companies have a contract with the Department of War. And for example, xAI's Grok, has a $200 million contract. So, the department is using all the possible tools that are available. And from that perspective, Anthropic is one of them. But no one else, like ChatGPT, hasn't talked about, guardrails in such a big way as Anthropic has. So that's the big distinction. And obviously, SpaceX is a defense contractor for the department. And now with xAI merger, I think they can do more work around the drone side. So at the end of the day, I think you have to think of it from a geopolitical standpoint, what China is doing, with that infrastructure and similar concepts, and what I think the U.S. defense is looking to do in terms of surveillance and national security interests. And these LLMs will play a pivotal role because, as I said, they can help you find that needle in the haystack that the current technology wasn't able to do.
Who is Anthropic? Who are these people?
Well, they just raised $30 billion in their latest funding round.
So they're good fundraisers.
They're good fundraisers.
And they'll most likely go public this year. There is a very high likelihood of both Anthropic and OpenAI going public. And that's why, they're out there in terms of establishing the use cases and the utility. It's not just a coding agent. They want to show, that they are addressing a lot more areas in terms of, where these models are touching and the companies that they are interfacing with. So there is a very high chance that we'll see IPOs.